So this is not clickbait. And I know that might be hard to believe because I do story times on the regular, and a lot of the times for story time YouTubers, that's something a lot of us have to rely on is clickbait for people to watch our videos. I just started filming this video and I got really overwhelmed and out of breath super quickly and just kind of felt like I wasn't telling it the way that it needed to be told, because I feel like the situation is so complex and ridiculous and crazy. There is no exaggeration here when I say that I have been robbed of thousands and thousands of dollars worth of things. Jewelry, perfume, makeup, and other things I probably don't even know about. I'm telling you this story because it has been eating away at me for days now, and I feel like I can't move on from something. Like, I'm not someone who likes to live with secrets. I don't like to live feeling like I'm hiding anything. And it's not like I come onto the internet with the intention of just telling everyone every last detail about me, but I do feel like this is something that's eating away at me, and I can't sit here and like put on a smile and feel like myself without saying why I have been, I mean, probably if you don't follow me on any other social media, you may not have noticed because I only upload like 2 or 3 times a week. But why I've sort of been absent on social media. This isn't exaggeration. If anything, I'm under exaggerating because the entire situation just seems so crazy to me that every time that I talk about it, I try to make excuses and I try to say like that this all has to be one huge misunderstanding. But now, as I'm getting through the rest of my boxes and bins and things from my move, I realize how much has been taken, how much has been tampered with, what is missing. And I want to tell this as kind of like a cautionary tale. I'm really naive, and I like to believe that everyone is a nice person, and people aren't always nice. And I hate that I have to even say that, and I hate that I'm naive and that I'm kind of soft, but I also hate that everyone isn't a nice person. I think I hate that more. And so I'm gonna tell you guys this story, and all I ask is that you just listen before you run to any comments and say that I'm a liar or say that I'm whining or anything like that, because I think even on Twitter I said that I just hoped that whoever stole so much from me needed those things a lot more than I did. I kind of tried to keep an open mind and think like this thing wouldn't have happened if someone didn't need these things. But I'm gonna kind of explain why this happened, why I think that this happened. And I'm not upset about the material items. I'm really not. You'll understand why I am so hurt. Okay, so I moved across the country from Texas to Los Angeles, and I kept my Texas house. I did not buy it. I am leasing it. I am still in my lease. I would still have to pay out my lease even if like I broke it, you know what I mean? So for the time being, I've decided to keep the Texas house and keep a lot of the furniture there because I didn't want 99% of it. I had planned on giving it to friends and family. I had planned on donating it to Goodwill. I had planned on selling it, things like that. But I didn't want most of the furniture. And when I moved into my new space, I really wanted like a fresh start. I have always wanted a very like French country home sort of place. And so I was like, I'm just gonna do this for myself because I've always wanted a house and a home that looked a certain way. And I decided that this was my time. I only get one first apartment in LA and I wanted it to be amazing. So I had wound up leaving a lot of my furniture. What I did bring was a ton of stuff. So many things, if that makes any sense. So when I say things, I'm talking bins and boxes of makeup and clothing and perfume and hair products, because that is what I do for a living. You guys have seen my PR hauls. You know how much stuff I'm sent. You know that I love makeup. I love beauty. I buy a lot of it with my own money, but I'm also sent just obscene amounts. And of that obscene amount of stuff that I'm sent, I give away a lot. I'm obviously always either going through makeup or makeup is aging on me. You know, I do clean outs very frequently, but I still had a ton of stuff. My move happened on May 19th, where my movers came to basically pick everything up. Originally, I had paid the company. I'm not gonna say the name of the company because I do believe this is it's already kind of in the process of being handled legally. And so I don't want anything to inhibit the entire thing from flowing like it should. I hope you guys understand. I'm trying to be an adult. I'm trying not to slander anybody. If this ends up working out and I can safely give you a name, I will, simply because like I don't want anyone to use the company, but I also don't even think it's the company. I think like this is just a crappy thing done by crappy people. So my move, May 19th, I had originally paid them extra, my movers, to pack things into boxes because I did not believe I was going to be done in time. Turned out they were like 4 hours late, and so I was able to pack everything myself. Some of the things were packed with the movers there, and I think that is something where I went very wrong. I shouldn't have let anyone know what was in the bins. If I could go back, I would have just labeled them like living room, room A, room B, room C, without any sort of descriptors, because I think that would have lessened my chances of this happening. You're gonna see me kind of say, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done this, because I never want this to happen to anyone else throughout this entire story time. So my movers get there. They're late, of course, which is not a huge deal. And they're really nice guys. It's these 4 guys that seemed super chill, super nice. They walk in the door and immediately I apologize because the AC was out upstairs, so the entire house was pretty warm. So I'm offering them drinks, we're talking, and kind of in this sort of like break period, right before the moving really starts, before anyone starts taking boxes or any furniture or things like that, because I did take a very light amount of furniture. They were asking me, you know, this is a big house, because I had said on my moving papers that I was moving a studio apartment's worth of things, because I was. I wasn't taking most of the stuff in the house. And I was just kind of like explaining the situation to them, and I kind of got into like, I work with makeup and beauty products, and so I have put those bins aside because I'm going to kind of ask you guys at the end here about a climate controlled storage unit, or if that's something we can do, because I hadn't even asked about that before. I hadn't even thought about it until kind of late in the game. I mean, I have like a lot of makeup. Keep in mind, this is all sort of happening in that like beginning period where they walk in. I offer them drinks because the house is pretty warm, not like alcoholic drinks, but like water and Coke and stuff like that. I'm from the South, so every soda is called Coke. Don't judge me. We start naturally talking about beauty products, like I said, and then, you know, it kind of gets into what I do. I never like to mention YouTube if I can. I usually just like to say I work with beauty and fashion products because I just don't like to talk about it very much in like my day-to-day life. It's the coolest thing in the world. It's the coolest job in the world, but I feel like I sound very egotistical, and that's not how I want to describe myself. I feel like I am so proud of it and I love what I do so much. I can just sound like I have like a big head sometimes, and I don't mean to come across like that, so I try not to mention it. So we're just sort of talking, I'm keeping it very vague, and the conversation kind of gets into this one dude. His wife loves makeup, is like doing the whole beauty products on YouTube sort of thing. She wants to be a beauty guru, this and that, and how he got her this Urban Decay naked palette off of the back of a truck at a flea market for $19. And I was just like, there's no way that that's legit. Because I like asked him, was it new? Like, and he said, yeah, he was selling a ton of them. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, okay, that's not like, that has to be one of those Chinese wholesale things like from AliExpress or something, right? So, you know, at that time, I know that you guys would have seen in my last PR haul, I had gotten Naked, Naked 2, and Naked 3 from Urban Decay. I already have Naked 2 and Naked 3. My Urban Decay original Naked palette was kind of beaten up, so I decided to keep the OG one, but I told him, hey, why don't you take these palettes to your wife? And I went to the bin and I kind of fished them out and I gave them to him, and he was like, no, I can't accept that. Like, I know these are super expensive, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling him, no, it's really fine. Like, I have these, I was sent them, you know, they were gonna be given away anyways, why don't you take them to her? And he was so nice. And I think that this is what gets me, you guys, is like, these men were so nice to me and I was so nice to them. All in all, I gave every single one there boxes and bins and bags filled with beauty products to give to their wives and daughters and girlfriends, and like, the entire experience was so fun. We were playing music and laughing, and I was sitting here thinking like, I feel like a cross-country move should be so much more stressful than this. Like, I feel like I should be so stressed out, and I'm having so much fun with these dudes. They seem like really nice people. They're doing the work so quickly, and so just, they're very professional and also very nice, and it was just a good experience. And I'm not trying to make excuses and say that my next decision was the right one. I'm just trying to like defend myself a bit and say I know that this wasn't smart, but I also had given them a lot. I mean, the entire time they were there, I asked what I could do to help, you know, even though I was paying a lot of money for this move, for everything to be taken care of, right? Like, it's not cheap to move across the country. I'm asking how I can help, constantly offering drinks and just talking to them, and it just seemed like such a nice situation. I think that's why I'm so hurt, is I just feel like, not that anyone deserves recognition for being nice, because that's like the human thing to do, but I just feel like I was nice. I gave them all a lot, especially in value of beauty products. And, you know, I said on Twitter how, like, I hoped that whoever stole this stuff from me really needed it. And if it was these men, I had already given them a lot of value in like beauty products already. So I would have hoped that that would have been enough, but it wasn't. So I'm talking to them, and the makeup stuff hasn't been loaded onto the truck yet. And it's kind of the last thing there. And I'm asking about this climate controlled thing, and one of the movers is telling me, you know, it might be a couple of days, like we're supposed to take this all to a storage unit like right now. So you're gonna have to contact so-and-so at so-and-so business and talk to them about this, and hopefully we'll get your stuff moved over in a couple of days. But you labeled everything, right? And I said, yeah, like everything is marked makeup. It was already kind of done at that point. There was nothing I could do. If some lipsticks melted, you know what? I have so much. It's not the end of the world. And the guy who I had talked to originally, that I had given the naked palettes to, and then like boxes and boxes full of things to for his wife, and kind of like talked to him about YouTube and how to start off on it and all of that kind of stuff. Because once he told me his wife wanted to do YouTube, I kind of like gave him a lot of advice and stuff like that to give to her. He winds up telling me, hey, I have a storage unit in the same building and it is AC controlled. Do you want me to store your makeup bins there? Everything was marked and tagged on this paper, and it wasn't even in my head that someone was going to steal anything from me. What's funny is those were not the only bins that were taken out of, or things that were taken out of. So I don't think this was avoidable at all. I think that because they saw me pack the bins and because they knew it was in there, the things are just gone. Because those bins in his AC room were taken from, but also things were taken from a lot of other things that I had, and boxes are missing now. So I agree, and I tell him that I'm very thankful, and I kind of give him my information. He never texted me or anything like that, and they go off, and I don't think twice about it. So I don't have his info. I don't even have his name. I don't have his number. I gave him mine, but I don't have anything to go off of for this. It was stupid of me to agree to do that. It's not that I think I'm a dumb person. I think I just like to think that everyone is nice. And this guy just seemed like he was trying to save me a couple of bucks and save my makeup in the process. So my stuff winds up being delayed for a really, really, really long time. It actually, like, I was getting updates on my phone and it sat in New Mexico for like a week. It finally gets here, and my movers dropping it off are not the same movers as they were in Texas, obviously, because this moving company, I think, contacts people in the area to do the moves for them. That's kind of the way that the guys made it seem, the ones who moved my stuff in Texas. So these guys come and they're not very nice. They wind up getting very angry with me about the elevator situation, even though I had explained the whole thing when the move even started. They're not polite. They're very rude. It's two men who are doing it this time, and I try over and over to help, whatever. And the process was not a nice one this time. The guys were just angry. I don't think they wanted to be doing the job, like whatever. They wind up not even putting my things in the correct rooms. I'm non-confrontational. I don't really care. I plan on just telling the company later, before I leave the review, like, hey, these dudes were not super nice. It wasn't good to work with them. They didn't move my stuff to the correct rooms. That's just kind of how I am, because also I understand this is like a massive company and they're moving a lot of people across the country. It's like a national business. So yeah, I just plan on handling it later. But by the end, when I go downstairs to like see the guys off, the kind of main one, there was one that talked a lot, and I kind of got the sense that he was in charge, hands me these papers and he's like, I need you to sign on these. And it's a list of all of my boxes, and he's put like a giant check next to all of them. And I was like, but we didn't go through these. I don't know what's here and what isn't. I haven't like seen all of that. And he's like, well, I just need you to sign this saying that your stuff arrived, it's not broken, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, how can I do that if I haven't even like looked in one bin? And I told him, you know, should we go upstairs and account for everything, this and that? And he said, well, I have to go to another job. So I just need you to sign these papers. So I signed them saying that everything was there. Everything was not here. At first, I didn't think twice. I just kind of thought he wasn't the nicest person. I was gonna leave a Yelp review, like saying everything was fine. I was planning on calling the company eventually to talk about him, but over the course of the last couple of days, I have been just really focusing on getting my house back together, my apartment rather, back together, because there were bins and boxes everywhere, and I can't live with just like things piled high to the ceiling. I just wanted to get everything together. So I started unpacking a lot of things, and the first thing that I noticed was I had a bin right next to me when I was filming that last PR haul video. I am gonna link that down below. My last big giant makeup PR haul. And in that bin was all of the new makeup products that I had showed. And I noticed that the original Naked palette, the one that I hadn't given to the guy when I gave him Naked 2, Naked 3, the original Naked palette was gone. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird, that's strange. I kind of just thought maybe I put it into a different box and hadn't really thought about it. Then I'm unpacking my foundations and I noticed that every single IT Cosmetics CC cream that I had was gone. And it was all packed into the same box. Next, I realized I don't know where any of my Kylie Cosmetics palettes are. I don't know where my Kat Von D Alchemist palette is. For that matter, I don't know where half of my foundations or my highlighters are. Things like mascaras and eyeliners and things like that were left. It seems like it was mostly like highlighters and skin products and brand new products that were taken. And at this point, I'm thinking, I have to be missing a bin. Like something's just not right here. I'm missing a lot of stuff. I had like been saving my mom a bunch of gift sets. She really wanted a new perfume. So over the last like month or so, I had been picking out scents that I really thought she would like Flower Bomb by Viktor and Rolf, the Tory Burch perfume, Juicy Couture, things like that. I had been picking out these gift sets and sort of setting them aside for her. And every single one of them was gone. I'm not an idiot and I'm pretty organized and I know how I pack things. And a lot of my stuff was just very jumbled and I kind of like blamed it on the whole, well, obviously just moved across the country thing. But it looked like the bins had been like picked through. And so I'm automatically kind of freaked out and I start going through all of my bins and all of my boxes to really make sure that I don't have the things that I think that I have, because I don't want to ever point fingers unless I have no other option. I am not someone who likes to accuse anyone of anything, because the last thing that I want is to be accused of doing something or being something that I'm not. And so I would never want to call anyone a liar or anyone a thief unless I had no other way of thinking. And then I looked in this tiny suitcase, and this is why I know that everything that I had was picked through. Because that tiny suitcase was not among the things that was in the climate control room. That tiny suitcase had been filled with perfume bottles and jewelry and things that I wasn't keeping on my person. I moved in my Mustang. I had 2 dogs in my back seat. I had a suitcase full of clothes and sentimental things for my father and things like that. Like I didn't have a lot of room on me. So I had moved my original Michael Kors watch that I bought, oh my God, when I was like 18 and I was working barely above minimum wage, and it was one of the first nice things I ever bought myself. The box was gone, the watch was gone, and all that is left is the little Michael Kors pouch, like the thing that went inside. I had moved jewelry in pouches like this. The pouches are empty now. I have perfume bottle caps without the perfumes. I think that there are some boxes missing, and unfortunately I did not do a very intelligent thing in not documenting where everything was and what was in each bin. However, it's things like, I know that I put that Naked palette into one specific bin. That Naked palette is gone and nothing else was from that bin. I know where I packed my Kat Von D Alchemist palette. It's gone. I have all my BB creams except my IT Cosmetics ones. Like, they're all gone. It's very specific things that are gone. I do think, hopefully, fingers crossed, that I have like a box that's sitting somewhere that just didn't make it in the move, and hopefully that I'll get that. I just keep hoping. There's one specific box that was packed kind of separately from everything else that I'm hoping a lot of that makeup is gonna return to me. My Tiffany rose gold necklace is gone. If you're wondering why I let that kind of go in the move, it's because I was so focused on keeping the jewelry from my dad and keeping like the things that were very sentimental to me. I had my dad's ashes in my car. I had all of his clothes and stuff from the hospital. Like, that was top priority. That was what was taking up space. I wasn't really thinking about anything else. And frankly, this moving company had like 5-star reviews, like 40 of them. And they didn't seem fake. They didn't seem bought. I called them today for the 3rd time. The first time that I called, I explained the situation and they said that I needed to know exactly what was missing. So I made a very comprehensive list and I called back, and they were closed the 2nd time I called back. So I called back a 3rd time today. And essentially what they said was they're gonna send me a claims report, and before I fill that out, they want to make sure that they didn't lose a box. They're going to talk to the people that did the move, yada yada yada, all sorts of stuff. And then I kind of explained like, but I have the box, like the suitcase where, you know, I have the caps, my perfumes are gone. And she just sounded very confused, and she asked me, are you talking about a box or a suitcase? The lady on the phone that I was talking to, and I was like, I'm talking about a suitcase. And she told me that on the form, it didn't even say that I had a suitcase. So it has a tag on it. It has a sticker. I would show it if it didn't like have my legal name and stuff like that on it, or like my new address or whatever. It was tagged, but it wasn't on the form. Like, it wasn't documented, and I don't even understand how that's possible. I don't understand how a lot of this is possible. This has been a very long and very rambly video, and I think that my main goal here is to say that this happened to me, and this is really, 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 really crappy, but there are a lot of things that I could have done to prevent this. Unfortunately, I'm not someone who lives in such a way that I'm constantly concerned with my stuff being stolen. With this move happening, the last thing on my mind was like, oh, my stuff is gonna get taken, you know? I should not have packed in front of them, was number one. If you are someone who is about to do a cross-country move, because basically what I was, when I was saying all this on Twitter, somebody was like, I'm moving and now I'm freaking terrified. Number one, don't pack in front of people. Number two, maybe don't be as descriptive as I was on my boxes, in which I said like foundations and palettes and perfumes, not perfumes, because perfumes are all in my suitcase, but you get what I mean? Like, I said what was in each box, and that literally gave someone else free reign to be like, oh, well, I need a new foundation. Let me go into Loey's little foundation box over here. You know what I mean? I let people know what I had, and that, I guess, gave them more incentive to take things from me. The next thing is that I shouldn't have accepted the offer to let those specific boxes be put into the AC controlled like room, because I'm pretty sure that that's probably where a lot of the makeup was taken. And then I think whoever took a lot of that stuff probably just went to my overall like storage unit and took other things, like I said, the perfumes, the watches, things like that, because those were not supposed to be kept with the makeup products, and that suitcase was not in any capacity labeled. I should have photographed my bins when they came. I should not have told that mover that I would have signed off and said that all of my boxes were there when I had not been allowed the time to go through everything first. I shouldn't have done any of that, and that is all my fault. I do take responsibility in a lot of ways, because I shouldn't have done a lot of the things that I did, and maybe my things wouldn't have been stolen, but I still wanted to tell this story because it's a crappy thing that happened to me, and because it's something that has me down, not because I miss material items. I have a lot of material things in my life, and they're not something I'm particularly attached to. I was saying on Twitter how I wasn't very upset that anything specific was gone. Actually, one thing I was pretty upset about was this perfume I got back in high school. It was my like favorite perfume for so long. It's a Juicy Couture original perfume, and I had gotten a gift set of it as a gift from someone very special in my life, and it really upset me that that was gone. It really upset me that like my watch that I bought, that was like my first nice thing I ever bought myself, is gone. But that was really it. It was like those special items. I didn't care that my Kat Von D Alchemist palette is gone. I don't care that all my BB creams are gone. I care that like my mom's gifts were stolen. And I care because I just felt like I had given so much. And it really, really stinks that I was really generous with those items that could have gone into a giveaway or could have gone to like friends and family. And I gave them to strangers because that's what you do. I don't know, like that's what I do. I guess I just wasn't even thinking about it, and It's honestly made me rethink a lot. And it's so weird to me how every single year I look back and realize how naive and how silly I was the year before. This is such like a sad story, and I'm very disappointed. I'm gonna have to handle this legally. I probably am gonna have to file a police report because it's such a high dollar amount that's stolen. I mean, even just from what I've told you guys, you can probably gauge how much in the sense of like monetary value is taken from me. But it hurts more because I'm never gonna be able to trust like movers again. I'm never gonna do this again. If I move across the country again, you bet your bottom dollar that I will stress myself to the very last limit to drive a dang U-Haul truck myself before I ever let anyone do something like that to me again. And it's something that has left me very sad and very just disheartened with kind of humanity in general. That what I gave just wasn't enough, and someone saw a green light to take a lot more from me. However, I'm happy and I'm healthy. I live in LA in a beautiful apartment. I have the best family in the world. I have you guys. I have amazing friends. I'm surrounded by people that I love, doing what I love, and this is all just another story for the books. This was just another lesson in patience, and that's what I try to remember, is all of this is happening for a reason, and nothing happens without a purpose and without a greater meaning. That's how I like to live my life, is feeling like this is a lesson in patience, and this is a lesson in not being so materialistic and getting over it and realizing that if those things really matter to me, I can save up and buy them again. And I do hope that whoever took that stuff, I really, to the bottom of my core, I hope that whoever took all of that stuff from me really did need it. And I hope that their families are fed, and I hope that they are happy, and I hope that they can sleep at night, because that is the only way that I am getting through this with a positive attitude. Anyways, I love you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because I've been filming for like an hour. I keep getting so tied on my words because this is such like a serious story, and I just wanted to tell it. I hope that's okay. I just wanted to talk about it and sit in my PJs and exist for a while and feel like I was telling you guys this thing that just made me so friggin' sad, and it's not a story that has an ending. It's just a story. So hopefully this was okay. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm gonna go film something really happy right now. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.